Welcome to Knox Makers tonight, everyone. It's Tuesday. We do our weekly show and share. Bring stuff we're working on, something we've made, something that we've completely failed at. I have a list. If anyone's not on the list, just give me a little wave and I'll add you to the bottom. But first on our list tonight is Matt, and he's bringing something in process, a wood restoration.
How are we looking? This is a before. Can I zoom out any? You said I can press the minus? Yeah. Okay. Whoop. Whoa, okay. So, I just moved here and I need to refinish some stuff because I don't have much money left. And so I needed something. I need a hutch because I have a small kitchen, and this was, picked this up for a deal, figured that I could restore it. I saw promise in the doors, but it's a fighter, and pretty nasty, a lot of wear. The doors are book matched walnut, which is great, but we got to get to it. There's a lot of kind of crude prior work that was just sort of tacked on. Bottom fell out, so need some help. The doors were sort of in a bad way, and it's nice to have something that, like some restoration projects, you have to be very fragile and very delicate and really try to maintain all of the wood that you can. And some are like this where you don't have to care. And so you just sort of sand it down to nothing. I reinforced this because the doors are sort of warped, so rather than try to take them apart and fix them, we just let them be warped and reinforce it with a little nail. Why not? It's on the bottom of a door. No one's going to see it. Some veneer fixes, and this detail's kind of nice. And the sides are they look okay. It's the bottom, right? A little middle speed, yeah, not bad. Looks better on the iPad, but you get the idea. And the doors have quite a bit of luster. That's just after stripping it with some paint. So the book match walnut's gonna look good. And if you 10-year review, I've had that for about 10 years, and it works great. And I haven't babied it, but I haven't abused it. And if you ever thinking like springing for a sander, do it. So, all right, thanks.
I have a quick question.
Oh yeah.
Was that veneer?
Yeah. Pretty. Yeah.
Repair any of that?
Yeah. I did some. That was the stuff on the doors. The veneer was in pretty good shape, in terms of tapping on it, making sure it's good. Just one piece on the edge. So I'll take it. Cool. Thanks.
I can't wait to see updates on that. Maybe you'll even bring it in.
Maybe.
Next on our list, we have Wes, who has an acrylic calendar.
So this is more of a failure project so far, but it's something that I'm continuing to work on. This is the clear acrylic that we sell here. And as you can see, I started out using the default setting for the laser, which was 3%, and realized that it wasn't actually cutting it, or it wasn't actually engraving it at 3%. There was nothing coming out. And talking to John about it, we discovered that perhaps the bulb is getting a little bit old, and so we need to up the percentage for cutting and engraving, and so that's kind of what I've been working on here. Now, what was interesting was I went up to 5% from 3 and noticed that in some cases, in some cases it's actually, try to get it in there, it's actually peeling off, right? So this is engraved, and while this tape is on there, it's going through it, but then it's not actually, you can kind of see it in here a little bit. So then I realized I couldn't use this any longer because now I've got all these holes that go right through it, right? That's what I wanted. I wanted it to be cut through. So then I decided, well, let's just go with black, right? Let's just see how that does, right? And it actually did pretty good. It did the hatch fill in here and stuff pretty well. And then About 20 minutes in the process, I realized that I hadn't asked my wife if she wanted a black acrylic calendar. So I kept going with it and didn't say anything about it until I brought it home, and she liked it. And then 3 days later said, why are you doing a black acrylic calendar? Why don't you do something like, you know, a clear or whatnot, right? Actually, that's kind of hard. This is not like the best way. Right, and so the white in here actually is just the this stuff right here, right? It's just the marker on there. So I could fill that in. You can kind of make it different colors if you want and stuff like that. So the next step, can't go any wider on it. The next step is to remove all the notes part here. We don't want that, and then kind of make the boxes a lot bigger because, quite frankly, you can't write in there at all. And if you have more than 3 words to write in it, you're not going to be able to put it in. So still work in progress. Obviously, I'm now down to about, I don't know, $24 in the hole on this, but that's fine. I'm learning here. So any questions? Cool. Thank you.
What kind of pen were you using to write on there?
I just bought like a dry erase white pen.
And it doesn't come off of the engraved part. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it does. It smudges a little bit after a while, but I mean, in the very beginning, because it's dry, but that's fine.
Nice. Next on our list, we have Isaac, who is camouflaging his garage.
So this is probably comically simple, but remember that I'm an electronic guy, so me trying to do woodworking, it's like a fish trying to ride a bicycle, right? My girlfriend has established a home gym in one of our garage bays, and it's like her pride and joy. And her birthday's coming up, and so she wanted to refurb it and make it nice. And so I've been helping her work on that a little bit. And one of the things that has bugged me since the beginning is that one of her walls there on the other side is where our HVAC air handlers are, and so the coolant lines and the electrical lines come through the wall here, and they're just really kind of gross and random looking and not part of her aesthetic. And so I wanted to do something to try and conceal those for her and make it a little bit nicer. And so I know that, something could happen. We might need to get to these things, so I can't go all like cask of Amontillado on it. We got to like have access. So I had the idea of making some sort of facade to go in front of them. And so I chose the most loathsome material possible, this sort of a 3/8 inch thick plywood paneling, which no one should use for any chore at all ever, but it had the advantage, the unbeatable advantage of being something that I owned that was in the garage already. So I was hell-bent on using it. So that was ingenious. So what I did was I cut it, ripped it into a bunch of pieces. In fact, I mitered them because I'm fancy like that, and that's a word that I know. And there's also some 2x2 sticks of material that I had, and so I cut those things the long way to make prismatic braces to go in the corners here to try and shore it up a bit. And of course, none of this wood was even slightly flat. And I found, though, that with enough glue and nails and clamps and cursing, I could coerce it into more or less a square and flat situation. And so that's what you're looking at here is my little wooden facade made of horror. But the whole thing is this garish yellow color, which is her like workout team color, and so I felt like the canary yellow was going to do a lot of work for me in hiding all the horribleness here. And of course, I was using the back side to be the outside because it didn't have the pretend wood plank texture, right? So it's like incredibly coarse. But after spending roughly half my life sanding on it, it was mostly smooth to the point where I felt like I could credibly apply paint to it and have it be okay. So this is after I made it be yellow. And then I had to figure out how to get it up there, covering these line sets. And so I made these cleats, I guess, more bits of 2x2 that I attached to the wall with wall anchors, thinking that I could put sort of screws in through the sides, and that way I could back those out easily enough, in case of maintenance later. And so that's what's happening there. And so then once I got that dude up on the wall, Of course, it interacts with the baseboard because it's like a quasi-finished garage. So I had to transfer that profile and cut it out, which I did with a grinder and a sanding wheel because none of you were there to tell me not to. It worked. And so then after it would sit flat like that, I went rummaging and found some bits of baseboard and chopped that all up and added that so that it more sort of credibly attached to the wall. So it's an abomination in the face of our Lord, but it actually came out better than I had any right to expect, which is basically what my girlfriend said. You know, I didn't think that was going to work out at all. I'm like, me either. But hey, it worked okay. So that was my project for Sunday. Yeah, there are two, because there's two air handlers, so each one has a line set coming through. Yes?
As a father, you or her that the whiteboard is no longer centered?
Well, you wouldn't believe the incredible array of everything that's going to be attached to these walls. She's got this new weightlifting rig that's like a Murphy rig. It like collapses into the wall. That's what I bought her for her birthday. So we had to take everything down off the walls, patch everything up, repaint, and now we're getting ready to attach everything back up on the walls again. Sir? No, because my girlfriend lifts weights. Okay? Right, thank you.
Thank you, Isaac. Next on our list, we have Toby, who has brought something irrelevant.
Yes, it's still a running gag joke. So, for those that are new or newer, the whole joke actually stems from a sticker that I made several, probably years ago now. It's half giraffe, half elephant. Because I was up at 2:30 in the morning and I saw a clip art of a giraffe eating leaves. And from where its head down, it was all picked clean. And I was like, well, it's a shame that that all those leaves are there. How is he going to be eatable, you know? I said, well, if he had a trunk like an elephant, he could go ahead and just grab them and eat them. It was a silly idea at 2:30 in the morning on a Saturday or Sunday morning. But my niece asked me if it was a sticker, so I was like, okay, so I made some stickers. So several months and months later, I went ahead and decided I'd kind of like to see what that looks like in 3D. So I went ahead and I will zoom out. So I basically made a 3D version of a non-existent character called a girelephant, which is a play on the word irrelevant. So yes, it's basically a dad joke sticker. So the other thing is my sister, which thought it was cute because she actually got one of these as well, because she wanted one. I don't know why, but a lot of people like them. And well, she decided for Christmas she would go ahead and crochet me one. And I'm not joking. So she spends about 4 weeks or so making a crocheted version. So, and it's like 14 inches from schnoz to butt, and it's actually really plushy and cute. I'd like to actually make a plushie. That's probably going to be down the road. But with my new scanner that I just got in the last month, I went ahead and 3D scanned him, and I don't know how to do the lighting on this. Let's see if I can zoom out her in a little bit. So I was like, okay, I did 3D scan him. He come out pretty good, and that's the question going to be, how good did he come out? I'm going to show you. So this is actually the 3D scan of him. And yes, he's got a little daisy like Eeyore. So she went ahead and added the little hooves, little puckered mouth, little puckered trunk part of him. She only knew how to do Raggedy Ann hair. So she gave him the big 80s grunge hair. He still got the little ears and she actually even added eyelids to him, which I thought was a neat touch. And all the spots are actually sewn on there. So, I was talking to PCB Rob the other day, and he's like, oh, we're going to go ahead and we're going to do a little small section for jewelry and everything. So seeing as I had this brand new scanner, I was like, maybe I can go ahead and scan the crocheted giraffe and print it. So what I did was just that. So, and you can actually see it's still got all the crochet texturing and everything in his face and body and all like that. So, I mean, taking him from 14 inches to about 2 inches, you know, with the hair and the little daisy and everything, I think my resin printer did a pretty good job on printing. So, basically, yeah, widen. Other way. No. Other way. So basically, there's a little bit of evolution of the giraffe that I'm going with, but you know, you always start off with your base product, and then later you're like, well, maybe I'll make another tweak or change. So yeah. So this is the final not final product. This is the current product. So he'll probably change a little bit here and there before all said and done. And the other thing is, if you drop resin, it does shatter all the heck. So that was actually dropped in the parking lot at the college this morning. So I broke both ears and the antler off. And I also noticed that I don't want to paint his eyes like that because he looks shocked. So he needs eyelids, if nothing else, if he's going to be painted. So that's the irrelevant giraffe. So, yes.
Where do we get whatever it was you were in Bob again? That's something.
I had plenty of naps that Saturday, to be truthful. Naps in the day because I was off that weekend. But I did wake up as I'm 50, almost be 51. So I got up to use the restroom, and then I couldn't go back to sleep. So I was like, at 2:30, I was like, well, how do I make myself sleepy? I'll just get on the computer and surf the web. And that was, so basically it started off with a stupid little idea. But my niece, that's now 31, she's like, I wanted one of those stickers. And I was like, okay, I'll make a sticker. Well, we, as a joke, we were kidding around at one of the comic conventions, and we started giving them out to little kids, like 12 and under. And one of the parents that come up with their, I think, 6 or 7 year old son, and so they were giving out the stickers with a split back so they can stick on there. The mother was like, oh, no. That'll be stuck on just about anything, maybe the wall or the fridge or something like that. And Dad looks down at it and he's like, let it. And she's like, are you crazy? And he said, it doesn't matter, it's giraffe. And I was like, that's it, that's the name, that's everything for it. So I was like, it was definitely a dad joke sticker, and I didn't notice it at the time, but when I printed it, but it is definitely a running dad joke or uncle joke with me. So yeah, it's silly, but there's been some people at the college, they're like, yeah, I use that sticker all the time. We even they stuck one on the bulletin board the other day. It was embarrassing. And they were talking about tutoring, and they're like, stress got you down, it's giraffe, come get tutoring. And I was like, so now it's becoming an adjective for things that are irrelevant, and I was like, this is getting more and more embarrassing, but it's kind of cool. But so it's I don't have the stickers with me, but I do have about 20 or so, so I'll probably bring some in and drop them off then, yeah, yes. My sister's actually talked about that, and we pitched the idea of doing a book called The Irrelevant Girelephant, and because he's half elephant, half giraffe, and she asked me, well, what's it going to be about? And I was like, blended families, I guess. So that's if we do a children's book, that's what it'll be about. Basically, he's not special. He's a one of a kind. He's unique. Yes. The last scanner that actually will do black is one that just come off Kickstarter by a company named Revo Point, and it's the Range. So I'm not really pitching hardware equipment or anything like that. So far, I'm still learning how to use it. That was the first thing that I got actually scanned properly. So, and that was Saturday. So, any other questions, comments? All right.
It's very cute. And I hope we see some stickers stuck around here maybe. Last on our list, we have Andrew, who has made an event. Andrew's wife is making an event.
I don't know who made it.
If you didn't make it, you can't show it. So
Well,
just say you did.
oh, whatever. Hey guys, so we have an opening at the Really Ridge this Friday, first Friday. Vincent Drake, who did this right here, and a bunch of other very large paintings, is in the gallery. We'll also have open studios, so you can check out what's going on in the studios. And Ashton will be doing some monotypes, like some flower-based monotypes. I don't know if you can see that very well or not, but for a demo in the print shop as well. So there'll be drinks and snacks and some cool people, I'm sure. So if you got nothing going on a Friday, come on down. Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Andrew. That was the entirety of our list tonight. We have a couple classes coming up in the next 2 weeks. We have a couple embroidery machine off classes. They are selling out quickly, so Sue just keeps giving them. But there is one ticket left for the May 10th class, which is a Wednesday evening. So if you're free Wednesday evening and you want to get off on the embroidery machine, sign up or talk to Sue, and she'll just continue to keep putting classes on till we've all learned how to make patches. And then on Friday, May 12th, there's an Intro to TIG class, if anyone is looking for authorization on that. Otherwise, you can look on knoxmakers.org/events. I did see an event that's not on the calendar yet, but is coming up, is that we're having our first stained glass class. So that will be exciting. On the 13th, which is a Saturday. So that's super exciting. Keep an eye on the calendar for that. A couple of announcements. As you are probably well aware, we are having a maker market on June 11th in the parking lot. If you haven't signed up, our vendors are like half full right now. So if you make things and then sell the things you make, this is the one chance at Knox Makers to do that. If you're interested in volunteering, you should talk to Aliki. If you're interested in vending, you can go to market.knoxmakers.org, and there is a discount for Knox Makers members. So if you are a member, you can talk to someone and get the discount code for that. It's $20 a booth for members and $40 for the general public. So spread the word and come to the maker market. Last time it was super full. We had a great time. There was a lot of great vendors. This time it promises to be the same. So June 11th that will be. And the last announcement I have is that instead of asking people to just take out the trash tonight, tomorrow we have a representative coming from the Western Heights Project. It's like our first informational meeting with them, and they haven't seen the shop yet. So if everyone here takes about 5 minutes to just maybe sweep something, take the trash out, pick up some stuff, organize a shelf, we can make it looking super spiffy for our visitors tomorrow morning. So everyone volunteer for that. And that's all I've got tonight. So if you're new and looking for a tour, find someone with a red badge and they'll be glad to show you around. Otherwise, go make cool stuff. And clean the shop.